Hello. I feel like, hello? Anybody there? Anybody hear me? That's how it feels. Is anybody there? Hello, world? Anybody out there? Hey, hello, hello. How are you all? How are you? These are like unusual times that we're in. And for the benefit of anybody who's joining us for the very first time, my name is Sandra Chuma, and I am the founder of Ndini. And Ndini is an online platform which is focused on sharing the stories of inspiring trailblazing women. Specifically, we focus on women of color and women of African descent because we really want to share stories of these inspiring trailblazing women, first of all, who we rarely hear from or hear about, and to share a different narrative. We also are all about sharing inspiration and motivation to help you live your best life, the version for you that is your best life. So my intention with these weekly lives is to just come on and share some inspiration, some upliftment, something that I'm learning in my life, or something that I am going through that I think might be of interest to other people or that might help inspire other people. And we also have, just so you know, a podcast, a weekly podcast that goes up on Mondays. New episode goes up every Monday, and that is available on YouTube. You can find us, our tag on YouTube is at Ndini Media. You can also find us on Instagram and on Facebook and Twitter as at Ndini Media, which is spelled Ndini, and then media, Media. And we also have a website, which is ndini.com. And with, again, as I said, with all of this, our intention is really to just try and bring some positivity, some inspiration into your life on a weekly basis. We also have coming up, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say, if my team will let me say, but we have an app that'll be launching next week. So look out for that, and that'll be available on Android, on iOS, on wherever you get your apps from. But today, what I wanted to talk about is really, as I said, we're in these incredibly unusual times. I don't think in any of us's lifetime we've experienced something that is what we're experiencing right now. And I want to say this first and foremost: however you are feeling right now is okay. I think there's a lot that's out there that's like, just be positive and just be happy and just, pretend like nothing's happening. And that's not the truth. And that's not how we should handle things. I think that part of the power of being in a situation is acknowledging the situation. And so for myself, I wanted to share something that I created for myself as a way for me to deal with fear, because fear, anxiety, stress are all really very real right now. I don't think there's anybody who is not impacted by what is going on in the world right now. And so it's very easy for us to get into fear, for us to be in anxiety, for us to be in stress, which is perfectly normal. I need you to hear that. I need that to sink in, that how you're feeling, however you're feeling, is okay. But what is not okay is for us to allow this to take us down a spiral of negativity. So as I said, I want to share with you how I'm dealing with it. And I thought about, how could I take the word fear and take it from being something that is something to be afraid of, something that paralyzes me, and take back the power and make it something that is more inspirational. Okay. And so I've taken the F of fear to be face it, right? That means we need to, before you can address anything, before you can deal with anything, you need to face it. You need to name your fear, to say, you know what, right now, I am afraid of this. Because I feel like sometimes it's like, when you're a kid and you're afraid of the dark and you think that there are monsters out there in the dark. It's only when you turn on the light, when you actually name it, say, I'm afraid of monsters, that you take back that power. So it's facing it. facing that this is very real. What we're all going through is very real. What we're all going through is happening to everybody. We're all in this together. And so face the fact that you're not feeling okay. Face the fact that you do feel anxious. Face the fact that you do feel scared. You do feel stressed. And that is perfectly okay. The E for me is to embrace it. Like I said, we all know that we're going through it. Everybody, as I said, everybody's impacted by this. Embrace the fact that the fear is a part of what it means to go through this experience, but to realize as well that we're not going to stay here. As the Bible says, this too shall pass. This too shall pass, even though right now it may not feel like it will. So embrace it. Realize that we all feel fear. Everybody feels fear. Elizabeth Gilbert, who's a beautiful author, she has a book called Big Magic. And in there, she has this beautiful letter that she wrote to fear, where she says, I'm going to acknowledge that you're going to be along for the ride with me. I'm going to acknowledge that you're going to exist. I'm going to acknowledge I'm not going to put my head in the sand and pretend this isn't happening. But what I'm going to refuse to do is to allow you, fear, to take the driver's seat. And that's what we need to do, is to embrace the fact we're going to be afraid. We're going to feel stressed. But we shouldn't allow that to allow us to spiral, for us to stay in that. I had a coach once who made me do this exercise where he called it the 7 levels. And so he said, okay, say what your fear is, right? So I had to say, I'm afraid of losing my job, right? And he said, okay, and then you answer okay, so if I lose my job, that means I'm not going to have money. I'm not going to be able to put whatever roof over my head. And he made you go through, ask yourself that question, and every answer that you had, to question it 7 times, and to realize that at the end of it all, you will be okay. It'll be hard. Absolutely. I do not minimize the fact that what people are going through is incredibly challenging, but we will all be okay. The A for me of fear is take action. One of the things that I realize is it's very difficult for you to go from where we are all right now in terms of our fear and our anxiety to, yay, everything is fine and everything is wonderful, and pretend like nothing is happening. But what you can do in this moment is just reach for a better feeling thought, a better feeling. Right? What can you do in this moment? So if you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling afraid, what could you do just to feel a little bit better? It might be something as simple as, I got up today, I showered, I put on some nice clothes. If you're a girl, and you're a boy, if that's your thing, I put on some makeup. And that just helps to lift your spirit. We're not going to be able to resolve what is going on in a day, in a week, in a month. But what can you do today to put yourself in just a little bit of a better feeling? Could you exercise? Could you watch a movie that'll make you laugh? Could you listen to music? Could you dance? Whatever it is, just to reach for a slightly better feeling than whatever it is that you're feeling in this moment. Another thing that I really highly encourage you to do is, I'm all about gratitude. If you've ever watched a live of mine, I always talk about gratitude. Because when you start to look for things to be grateful for, more things to be grateful for will show themselves. So you'll start to see, if you look for things to be grateful for, however dire your situation is, however dire, if it's as basic as, I woke up today, that is something to be grateful for, because as we know, there are thousands of people who yesterday thought they would be here and today are not. So even if it's just, I'm grateful that I can breathe, I'm grateful that I can see, I'm grateful that I can walk, just something in your world that right now you can be grateful for. Write it down. There's such power in acknowledging the things that you do have that you can be grateful for. Something else that I'd love for you to introduce is, I'm proud of myself for. At the end of every day, write down 3 things that you're proud of yourself for achieving, because it's so easy for us to go through the day and just be hard on ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves. the way we speak to ourselves is not how we would ever even speak to a good friend of ours, right? We'd be encouraging to a friend. We would be sympathetic, all of those things. Right now, more than ever, you need to do that for yourself. You need to be kind to yourself. Be careful about the words you use to yourself in your mind. Be careful what you say. So be kind to yourself. And at the end of every day, think about what are 3 things that you can be proud of yourself for. I know that many of you are in a situation where right now you're parents and you have your kids at home and your kids are cooped up in the house. They can't go outside to play. They can't do all that. They can't go to school. All of those things. If you're a parent, if you in this moment did not snap at your child, did not get impatient with your child, write that down. All those little victories that you went through the day. You know what? I got up, I got out of bed, might be your victory today. I prayed today, might be your victory today. I meditated today, might be your victory today. 3 things that you are proud of yourself for today. That is the A. Take action. Take action just to reach for something that feels a little bit better. Take action about the way you speak to yourself. Take action to put yourself in a better mood. Take action to just take action. Do something. A coach of mine tells me that action creates clarity. So even in this moment as well, it might not be clear to you. It might feel overwhelming if you have anxiety about a job, about a business. What's an action that you can take today? Because that one action will lead to another action, will lead to another action. And before you know it, you have momentum, you have ideas. Sit down and brainstorm. What are things that you could do? What are ideas that you could come up with? Take action. It also just puts you in a feeling of power when you do something. Even if, you know what I did yesterday? I cleaned my house. That just made me feel better. It made taking that action made me feel just a little bit of control in a world that right now just feels so out of control. So that's the A, is take action. And then R is rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat every day. You're going to have to do the same things. You're going to have to face the fear. You're going to have to embrace the fact that, yes, I feel afraid in this moment, and you're going to have to take action. And you do that every day and every day. And you'll start to see that slowly but surely, you'll start to feel a little bit better. It won't resolve everything in one day. It won't resolve everything in one month. But the more you can start to feel a little bit more control in these times where everything feels so out of control, then you will start to feel better about what is going on. You will start to feel better about the power you have in your situation to take control. So those are the thoughts that I wanted to share with you today. I wish you all a week that is blessed. I wish you all a week that is filled with peace. We're going to be continuing to share on the various Ndini platforms information and resources that we come across that might be of use to you, that are free, or that might help you as we navigate these difficult times. But I wish you all an incredible week. Thank you so much for joining me today. Join me again, same time, same place next week. Take care. Hey, Elijah, thank you. Glad you like my background. Hope you're all staying safe. And remember, look at me. I was just about to say, remember, wash your hands and stay away from your face. And of course, I touched my face. But I heard a really funny thing where somebody said, stay safe, wash your hands in soap and water, and stay away from men. And men is stay away from your mouth, from your eyes, and from your nose. So stay safe, everybody. Have a great week. Thanks, everybody, for joining me.